AI assistants are getting scary good at conversation. They can write poetry, they can craft emails, but ask them to actually do something in the real world, and things can get a little clumsy. Well, today, we're looking at a new standard that might just be the next giant leap, turning these amazing talkers into powerful doers.
So let's start with the big question. Why is there this huge gap? Why can an AI write a perfect sonnet, but stumble when you ask it to do something simple, like plan a trip for you? Something that involves checking a schedule, looking at the weather, maybe booking a room. It really all boils down to one simple thing: a total lack of standardization.
Right now, the AI world is basically a drawer full of tangled, mismatched cables. It's chaos. Before this thing called the Model Context Protocol, or MCP, every single AI model, we're talking GPT, Claude, Gemini, you name it, they all spoke their own private tool language. So if you're a developer and you built, say, a cool weather app, you'd have to build a custom adapter for each one. It creates this incredibly complex, tangled M by N mess. But MCP just fixes it. It creates one single universal standard. So now developers can build a tool once and it just plugs in and works everywhere. The chaos becomes clean and simple.
Honestly, the best way to think about MCP is to call it the USB-C for AI. I mean, think about what USB-C did for our devices, right? Suddenly you had one port, one cable that worked for your phone, your laptop, your headphones, everything. MCP is doing that exact same thing, but for software. It's creating that one standard language so any AI can talk to any tool in the world.
So if we want to get a little more formal about it, the Model Context Protocol is a standard communication protocol. It's the bridge that lets large language models connect with the outside world. It's how an AI can finally access external data, like a real-time flight schedule, or use an external tool, like a booking system, and do it all in one consistent, unified way. Okay, so this new standard brings three massive advantages to the table that are really going to change how we build and use AI. It all comes down to three words: secure, compatible, and open. Let's dig into what each one actually means. First up, and this one is huge, is security. You see, in the old way of doing things, if you wanted an AI to look at a sensitive document, you had to upload it to some company's cloud. With MCP, the tools can run right there on your local device. That means your private files, your personal info, your secret company spreadsheets, none of it ever has to leave your computer. Your data finally stays your data. Second is compatibility. And let me tell you, this is a dream come true for developers. They don't have to waste countless hours rewriting their tools for every new AI model that comes out. The mantra here is build once, run anywhere. A tool you make today for GPT-4 will just work with whatever comes next from Google or Anthropic. This gets rid of vendor lock-in, and it's just going to light a fire under innovation. And third, that compatibility unlocks something really powerful: a truly open ecosystem. When everyone is building to a single standard, a whole global community can start creating and sharing tools. So instead of having to build everything from scratch, you can just plug and play, instantly giving your AI new skills from this massive growing library of tools. All right, for those of you who are a bit more in the weeds technically, let's quickly compare MCP to the old way, which was called function calling. The biggest difference really comes down to control and reusability. With the old function calling, the AI vendor, like OpenAI, was in charge of everything. With MCP, the control shifts to your application, running on your machine. And critically, the tools are no longer stuck with one specific model. They become universal. Okay, enough theory. Let's make this feel real. We're going to walk through a super simple, real-world example of how this all works: building a smart travel planner. So check this out. You give it a simple request: plan a trip for me from Beijing to Nanjing tomorrow. First, the AI uses an MCP tool to reach out and check the train schedule. Got it. Then, seamlessly, it calls a totally different MCP tool to grab the weather forecast for Nanjing. And here's the magic. It combines that information to give you a genuinely smart recommendation. It doesn't just list train times. It suggests a specific train and tells you to pack a jacket because it's going to be cool. It's acting like a real assistant, orchestrating multiple tools to get the job done. And remember that open ecosystem we were talking about? It's not some far-off dream. It's happening right now. How big is it? Well, there are already over 4,000 community-built MCP tools that are ready to go. Tools for everything from managing your calendar to pulling live stock market data. So let's pull it all together. The big takeaway here is this: MCP is the plumbing,
It's the fundamental infrastructure that lets AI finally graduate from just being a clever chatbot to being a true agent, something that can act securely and effectively on your behalf in the real world.
And that leaves us with one last really exciting thought. For the very first time, we have a universal connector for AI. We have the software version of USB-C. The ecosystem of tools is already exploding. So the question isn't how AI will connect to the world anymore. The real question is, now that we can plug anything into it, what do we plug in next?